Oh my God, what eye candy today, huh?
Are you talking about me or the oranges?
Yeah, you.
Oh,
you,
okay.
baby.
Yeah. The oranges look like eye candy too.
They are. I'm so excited. I should have bought them at Wajimaya.
We're 6 feet away, chef.
Exactly. 7.5 now.
Yeah. There we go.
I don't know why I wear this mask. Nobody else does. Just kidding.
That's why you wear it.
That's right.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome to chat amongst yourselves as we go through the show. There's no problem with that. And what else do we have to say? Is that it?
So, well, to fit into Cairo's broadcast schedule, we'll do 8 10-minute segments. Each one has a subject. In the second half today, we've got a guest from San Francisco who's going to stay for 3 segments.
I thought it was Eliza.
She's bringing the Japanese importer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
And then and I'm have to leave at 10:10 for about 30 minutes. So these guys are going to take over the show, which they would prefer to do every week.
pretty much, he doesn't stay on topic. So.
Which is what makes this show so good. Who wants a topic?
I do a lot of or don't do a lot of things, but one of the things I do is keep the show on the rails.
Oh, maybe.
All right. Sometimes the kitchen team gets a little uppity, so just say, "Hey, we need more coffee,"
What are we
Or-
eating here?
something like, "This is really good.
Buddha
Where the hell's my breakfast?" Say something like that. Welcome to the Hot Stove Society Show on Cairo Radio. It's Chef Tom Douglas.
And I'm Perry Rocher, the chef in a hat.
Chef, you got a mouthful of something going on already.
A
We
little
just started the show.
Blood Orange. You
Blood
know what?
Orange.
I very much like that show because I'm guaranteed to eat and drink something.
Exactly.
That's why you come for breakfast.
That's why I stay.
We are the Hot Stove Society Show. We're here in downtown Seattle at the beautiful Hotel Andra on the 2nd floor. If you've never been to the Hot Stove Society, you're missing out, for God's sake. It's a good fun time. We have an audience here today that's really into it so far.
High
They're-
excitement.
High
Barely awake.
excitement.
I don't think they've tested the coffee yet.
I know. Today on the show, we're going to talk about brunch ideas for a crowd. And one of the things about doing any sort of meal for a crowd is figuring out what you can do in advance, right? And
Plan ahead.
And then maybe just reheat or retherm or
That's right.
whatever your term of endearment is. Our tasting panel is going to compare orange varieties, which is what Chef has in his mouth right now. You've got how many down so far?
1, Blood Orange, and I tested a little bit of the Buddha's hand.
The Buddha's hand. Pamela, our producer, is going to run that segment. And, this is a time to enjoy citrus this time of year.
Absolutely.
I feel, it's-
Absolutely.
The market is brimming.
Yes, good. Our tasting panel is going to do that. Then our guest, Greg Dunmore from the Japanese Pantry, and Eliza Ward from Chef Shop. She comes on once in a while. I think last time she was here, she had Victor Hazan in
Yeah,
tow
that's right.
Yeah.
with the new book that
She hangs with some cool people.
Exactly. I hope Victor's he's getting up there, that Victor. Yeah. Eat more spinach. Last night I made creamed spinach for the first time in 25 years.
Did have nutmeg.
25 years.
How did it go?
No nutmeg.
You're going to tell us later. Okay.
I'll tell you later. Cream spinach. When was the last time you made cream spinach?
Never.
Never.
I mean, I probably made.
It's kind of
no,
French.
I probably made a spinach cream of like soup.
Yeah.
Where you blend the whole thing up. I'm all into puree everything,
Oh.
as you always say. But puree the whole thing at the end and have a. We'll talk about that in the next segment.
And apparently Popeye is the one who endears our country to spinach. For reals.
Gets all the credit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for reals. So
As
Pam's
he
gonna tell us
should.
about
I mean,
that.
the man is muscly.
I know. Exactly. Saved his life many times. Then we're going to have at the end of the show, at the end of our fabulous 2 hours, a little ditty on the Rub with Love Food for Thought Tasty Trivia.
Oh boy.
And we're going to take on Greg in that. Is that what you're saying? He seems too smart for us.
And
I
I
think
bet
so.
you the whole thing is Japanese, and we're gonna be
No,
burned
no.
It's
again.
like depressing to know when you're starting the show that you're going to lose at the end of the show.
To be fair, I didn't theme it Japanese.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
Fine.
The plane
Uh,
is still there. That's good.
Let's talk taste of the week, chef. Why not?
My taste of the week will be I went to Bellevue to eat at Bobby Moore's new restaurant.
Uh-huh.
He took over. It's a new restaurant because it is now, and he redid it. But Bobby was a chef before at
The Barking
the
Frog.
Barking Frog, and he now has his own place. He bought Bisson, Maine,
Mm-hmm.
very
Oh,
long institution on Main Street in downtown Bellevue, and he also purchased just a couple doors down another space. I can't remember what the space was before, but a bar lounge. So he has both of these items going. The bar lounge looks really cute. I didn't eat in the bar lounge or drink. I just went and see it, and so at dinner at Bisson, Maine, it was delicious, and he opened up the place. It doesn't have curtain on the street anymore; it's wide open. It's a nice little change, and Bobby, of course, is very excited because he opened in October, so it's a brand new restaurant. The crew is nice, service was very nice. The whole thing was really delicious. I had a duck for entree that was really scrumptious. It was the whole meal was. I just wanted to give him a plug
Sure.
and a welcome into this ownership role because that's a different role as you and I know. So wish him
He's
good luck.
surrounded by some pretty fancy neighborhoods around
He's
there
got
in
some
Medina.
very fancy
and-
neighborhood, and he also
Yeah.
has a clientele that has been there for a long time.
Yeah.
So kind of like how we talk about canless institution and things like this, and they don't want Caesar salad to change or go anywhere. He's like, let's move on.
Yeah,
and-
don't mess with the canless salad.
Oh, don't mess with those institutions. So he's going through those emotions, but
Yeah.
he's really enjoying it, and he's a super nice guy. So he's
Good,
on
good
Maine.
for him. I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah.
My taste of the week is I made dinner from one of my cookbooks last night.
So
that
you
seem-
actually
doesn't
you,
that
you
seem
actually
funny?
are the only person I know who does that.
I understand. It seems funny, but my
Oh, it
sec-
seems.
my second book, there's one of the chapters is an ode to Peter Cipra
Oh yeah.
and Susan Cipra, who used to own and run the La Buznik restaurant right there at First and
Le
Virginia.
Buznek.
La Buz. Hey, I say it the way I'd say it in Czech. What
It's
do you
not
know?
La, it's not La, it's Le.
Le.
No,
La
I'm
Buz-
sorry,
no,
I'm
I
just
think
kidding.
it's,
I'm teasing you.
It's just La Buznik.
Yeah.
It's part of the name. It's not
I
like
understand.
L-E capital B-U is.
Correct.
Yeah. Anyway, Jackie printed off some of the menus from when we were going there, and it was a lot cheaper back then. We're going to have our 40th anniversary, and we dated there. That's where we went on most of our dates. And so Pam remembers that was our favorite from walking up the
Favorite.
hill on the Virginia Hill from
Can
the
I
market.
remind you of something else? You also were not as rich.
I have
When
been
people
rich.
start talking like this, I tell them,
rich is a funny thing. It's not always about money, right? I
Correct.
have been rich in terrific friends, and I've been rich
Correct.
in jobs and
Everything.
Yeah, everything. So I feel rich when I get a full gas tank or when I eat as many pieces of bacon as I want. That's when I know
there's
I'm
more than
rich.
you need, which is almost every day.
So I made the menu. Jackie and I made the menu directly from the book. All the little Labusnik favorites: cream spinach, sugared carrots, caraway sauerkraut, roast pork,
Wow.
chocolate mousse with Grand Marnier.
Wow.
I mean, I felt like I just stepped right back into the 80s. And the one thing I will say, and I know this is a controversial subject, so I'm hesitant to bring it up. But
you're going to bring it up anyway.
right, because we got hate mail. I got hate mail about this.
It's all right.
The gravy god showed up last night.
Oh, did you wear the necklace?
I wore my necklace, and the gravy god showed up for dinner last night. And my gravy, my sweet onion gravy, with all the pork juices and all this stuff, unbelievable. And here's the other thing I'll say about it: you can't use too much bay. Remember, we were always taught only one bay leaf or blah blah blah. You can't use too much bay.
Well,
It's delicious.
It depends. We could argue that a little bit, but
No, we can't, because we have to go to commercial. So that's what I'm going to tell you about that. Up next, we're going to talk a little bit about big brunch party food that you can make with ease and then serve with ease. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
So the gravy comes from the pork roast drippings, or
Yeah, and stock and
Hmm.
onions and garlic.
And you nailed it.
Oh, so good. The only thing I will say is I use that herb salt that you and I both like in the bigger
Was it
jar.
right?
It's
Too
so
salty.
salty.
It's salty.
You know what? I
What
have
the
this,
hell is up
I
with
have
that?
the same thing in my cupboard. I used it once. I went, no, it's too salty. I don't know why, but it comes out
It's
really
celery
salty.
from France. It's salt is salt, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but celery is not as pure
It's
as
got all the whale pee and everything still in it. Yeah.
the well pea in the
Maybe that's what makes it super salty.
the well pea in the middle of the salt marsh would have a little time getting in or out.
I'm gonna get a salt expert. You guys, we got to.
We need a salt expert. I want to know why that particular salt is so salty.
Okay.
And do you remember years ago, Renee Benke said to me, she said, I have a whole container, literally a container of salt that's being held up because there's too much whale pee in it. Salt is often refined into a clean sport. And
Onward. Brunch.
Which is not possible because they live in a salt marsh. So the well would have to go over the wall of the mud.
no, the
Get
salt
into the
marsh,
salt.
the water comes in from the ocean.
Yeah,
The whales pee in
Sure,
the ocean.
sure. Yeah, I'll let you get with that one. Thank you. Back on track. That's a nice reminder.
Let's host a brunch party here in the Hot Stove Society show on Cairo. Tom Douglas and the chef in the chapeau is here today.
Yes, Mr. Douglas.
Are you a bruncher?
No,
Brunch is a sport, don't you think? People.
yes, I'm not very much of a brunch. I'm definitely not the guy who's going to wait outside 30 minutes with a cold cup of coffee in the rain for some mediocre breakfast inside for brunch. I'm much more of a hater than a lover on that one. I would not be.
Wow, that's
I would
just
not
so
be doing
negative,
that.
chef.
But I like a good elongated lunch brunch on a Sunday or whatever day of the week. Well planned and organized. Yeah, no, I'm totally for that.
You know how you can avoid the lines?
You could make a reservation,
No. Well, I guess that's
but
one
most
way
of
to
them
think about
don't take reservation.
You could cook at home.
Oh, that's what exactly.
Exactly.
That's what I do.
Exactly. Even though eggs are 50 cents a piece now, I don't know if you've seen they're 55 or 60 cents a piece now. It used to be when you were cooking and trying to get ready for the fry station as a young cook, you'd practice with eggs. No more.
No more.
No more. They're too expensive. It makes my flock of 20 chickens that much more valuable over at the farm. So,
Yeah.
Okay, hosting a brunch party. Pamela, you put this in here. Are you planning on hosting us for brunch at some point soon?
Absolutely not.
Oh, I was so looking forward to it.
You don't even eat breakfast.
I know it's a meal that I don't understand, but it is a really popular phenomenon.
Absolutely.
And it dominates in the food news. So I said, I have to understand what people are eating and what the big attraction is. And I got a good giggle because the first recipe I came across was waffles made out of tater tots.
Oh, that is a giggle.
Man.
That was
Why?
they let them defrost and then smash them together in the waffle iron.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no,
And
sure.
coat it with smoked salmon, sour cream, and caviar. I said, I
that's
could
a
eat
good-
Now
that.
you're interested.
That's a good way to waste
Now
caviar.
you're interested, aren't you,
Just kidding,
chef?
I'm teasing.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about that. Let's start with eggs Benedict. That's the most popular breakfast item down at Lola, and it's delicious. I will say, when I'm out and about, I rarely order it because it's almost always
Not as good.
packaged Nor Swiss hollandaise mix.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't really order.
But-
I mean, at
but-
Lola, I've had it with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
It was really delicious because it's made on
It's
the
real,
spot,
yeah.
and
yeah.
the hollandaise is real. And
Yeah.
But you're right. In many places, especially the places that do a lot of it, they most often buy it already made, and you can taste it.
So let's help people make an eggs Benedict at home so that the hollandaise can last for a bit, right? You're French, you should know about this.
So buy good English muffin to start with. Don't buy
Right.
the
Alia Bakery's got delicious ones.
exactly homemade or something really delicious like this. Take your time to look for it and buy good muffin.
And toast them well. They
Oh,
should
yeah.
be brown and crisp,
Absolutely.
right? Because that's once you put the poached egg on top, it kind of waters things out. You don't have to worry about it being too hard.
Right. And the crispiness and dryness is only on the outside. On the inside, it's still moist. And when you break your egg and your hollandaise goes through that, you're going to have the most beautiful piece of bread.
Right.
It's going to have a little crunchy and it's going to have give inside, which is what you're looking for.
So now you can also, if you're doing brunch for say 12 people, you can also poach your eggs ahead of time, which I don't think people realize they can do.
Right.
How do you normally do that?
Well, you just poach your egg.
Simmering
and then
water.
very low simmer. and then you stop them before they're ready all the way, and then you put them in the cold ice water. That's how we do it. And then from that,
So why do that in advance, right? Because
well, because if you're doing, let's say you have 10 people coming to your house, it's brunch. Most people at home are not expert at poaching eggs, especially 10 of them. It would take you probably a good, well, if it takes,
could take a half hour.
yeah, it would take you at least a half hour. Yeah. And to do that, and you're going to be wasting all your time cooking where everybody else is having an egg Benedict. Plus, they're not going to be all ready at once. So they're going to have it to have one at a time, which is kind of a, not so great. But if you want to have everybody sitting down at the same time, that those eggs are in cool water right now. You take them out, you put them in warm water all at once, and they're all ready at once.
Right. And what's the key there, right? You put them in the warm water, but they're already set. It's not like they're going to break at this point.
Right. They're not going to break, and they're cooked already, almost ready. So they only need to be in there for a minute. Then you take them out, and you have all your plate lined up on your counter, with all your muffin. And some people had sauteed spinach.
Little
We all
ham
had
or spinach.
Ham and spinach. And then you put your poached egg on there, and you have your homemade hollandaise. Focus on the hollandaise. That's very important.
So go back to that. How do people keep their hollandaise from breaking? Because you have to make that in advance too.
So the way to stop your hollandaise from breaking, the secret, or not the secret, the thing you should know is keep your hollandaise, your butter, when you're making your hollandaise, needs to be at a certain temperature. If it goes too cold, when it warms up, it's going to separate. You want to try to avoid having your hollandaise go too cold. You don't want your hollandaise to go cold when you're making it, even though you're whisking and all that. So advice on that is to use it the whole time on a water boil, on a water bath that is warm. So nothing cools off. If you keep everything at the same temperature, the longevity of your hollandaise standing above your stove, not on a burner, but just on your stove, will stay much longer. And then put a piece of plastic on top so the whole thing stays covered the whole time.
It does help to give it a whisk every once in a while, I think. Yeah.
You can or you don't have to, but what's very important is that you don't let the temperature, it's an emulsion. An emulsion means things are going to bind together. The reason they bind is because there's a certain amount of temperature that's involved and binding agent. If you let that cool off, it will become solid, but then when you warm it up, it will separate.
So Pam, so now we've got eggs Benedict. Now we want some complementary dishes to go with that, right? You don't want to just eat everything heavy, or do you?
Oh, no, you got to get in a good, zesty, crispy salad.
So we've got tater tot waffle with caviar and smoked salmon. We've got eggs Benedict with ham and spinach. What's another side
Two
dish?
French things you need to have.
Okay.
You need to make a quiche. You make a quiche.
Benedict and quiche?
Excuse me?
Oh, eggs Benedict and quiche?
Yeah, for a brunch party.
You're only having one egg. You're not having two eggs, Benedict. Okay, Tom, cool off.
I don't know about this.
You can even cut your muffin in half if you want, or just make it.
When do we get pastry?
Hold on. First, the pastries are first normally. In my house, you eat the pastries first.
Oh,
and then you
before your savory.
Because pastry is like breakfast, And when I say pastry, I mean pastry like croissant, things like this.
Cinnamon rolls. Scones.
And small, not the whole thing.
Ooh, I don't know.
Just small, because you're going to have many different things. The name of the game is to try everything, not to eat everything, right? We understand each other on that. So quiche is a great other item to have for brunch, because you can make a big pan of it, in a Pyrex pan or whatever, and then you can have it cooled off in your refrigerator, take it out the day of, slice it the way you want to slice it, in small cube or square or whatever, and then warm it up in the oven, put it on the platter, and then you have a beautiful little quiches piece ready to go. And you can do crab quiche, you can do all many different kind of quiche, vegetarian quiche, mushroom, super delicious. And then the same thing with crepes.
Well, does that all go with the big pile of sausages I'm going to have along with my brunch?
You do the meat, I'll take care of the rest.
Okay.
And then you do the crepes. Crepes are very cool items to go onto the dessert pile.
So our producer, Pamela, put in a recipe for lemony crepe casserole.
What's a casserole? What do you mean?
So laying them all out together in a 9x13 pan with the sauce over it. So you could cut it in wedges if you wanted to assemble it all ahead of time instead of individual.
That's the key to any
crepes.
brunch. The big brunch is assembly ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean, crepes are great, because if you do it, for example, in a 6-inch round saute pan, you can cut them in half moon, and then roll them or fold them.
Yes,
So they're like little envelopes, like this big. And that's plenty for one person to eat 2 of those, which is 1 crepe.
and the crunchy celery apple salad.
Celery apple salad. I was going to say a fruit, some sort of fruit. I often do cut fruit with honey and yogurt or poppy seeds.
Yeah, and I would even say celery root because
Oh,
this time of year,
shredded.
this
in
time
our
of
fruit
year,
salad.
no, the celery root salad.
Oh,
A celery root salad because it's a very sturdy vegetable that's delicious raw and beautiful flavor. So you do a nice little of that with pomegranate seeds and just a bunch of and citrus if you want, like grapefruit.
Maybe some walnuts.
the good news about all these ideas for these big brunches is none of you have put beets on the menu, and I'm very happy. Very happy about
We've
that.
saved you
That's-
from the beets.
That's coming in
Exactly.
the next segment.
No, the next segment is actually a tasting panel. We've done tasting panels on mayonnaise, canned chili, mustard, salt, all sorts of things. Today we're going to do a tasting panel on oranges and all the
Citrus.
different ones that are available right now, from caracaras to blood oranges. It's still interesting to me how many people freak out about the term blood oranges. They don't quite get it.
Why
We're
they freaked
happy.
out?
We're happy.
We're happy to diffuse
On
that.
Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
All right, tell us where they're freaked out.
So you see Sean come over, and he's giving them the time to wrap up for the segment. So they try to comply, which I love.
We do comply.
All right.
Okay, everybody, let's taste our
Grab-
oranges.
Grab your. Jamie, why don't you come up and be the consumer palate? Bring your oranges up.
Which one is this, Pam? Tastes like
There you
a
go.
grapefruit orange.
Left to right.
Yeah, sit here.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
Everybody got oriented.
Oh, I should carry those at the airport. Damn. It's really a Lulu orange? I didn't know that. But Caracara is like,
These guys recognize that the mellow and the Buddha dinner were on the list. Like you could tell, it's the Buddha hand.
Is the Buddha's hand technically an orange?
Everybody's using this in the marketplace now. Annie and I were talking about it because I always thought it had to be candy, but she said no. But it's not as fun when it gets to the spongy middle.
I think this has been the worst season of caracaras that I've ever.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm very disappointed in it this year.
I like the sumo tangerine. Really good.
Yeah.
I like the acid in there. I think a pink grapefruit is also a beautiful. What do you go for the first one?
The Lulu.
Yeah, it's good. It's actually a good orange. I've never had this orange before.
Never seen it before.
I definitely need to carry this at the airport.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Yes. Thank God we're not on the radio, huh? Oh, we're live on YouTube. Sorry, YouTubers.
Hello, YouTubers. We haven't even said hello.
Hello,
to them.
YouTubers. Oh, No.
That has never happened before.
You know why?
For this man.
Hey, no, you know what?
I
'Cause
know.
I can put my knees under the counter here.
It's fine. We can adjust the camera. Don't worry about it.
There you go. Oh, not even. Can you adjust it? Oh, that's much better because my knees will feel better. Cool. Ah, I love this. See what happened when you're talented? You get everything you want.
Hey, everybody. It's the Hot Stove Society Show on Cairo Radio. Tom Douglas and Terry Road to Road.
In the house.
In the house. We're having a little tasting panel session here at the Hot Stove, which we like to bring our expertise along with the audience's expertise into the mix here. And Pam, tell us why you went for oranges for the tasting panel today instead of, say,
Bacon.
canned beans, cold canned beans.
Well, the stores are brimming with beautiful citrus displays right now. And I shopped today at PCC, but the day before I had also been at Wajimaya. And I recommend a trip right now because they've got some truly exotic varieties that I have not seen in oranges before. But because of the variety, that's what got my interest up. And then I started reading, and it was a revelation that the orange is the result of hybridization between grapefruits and mandarins.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole gigantic category has been created genetically, and it was not ever known to have existed in the wild.
Unlike apples, where
Right.
Adam and Eve ate an apple, right? So
Right. They didn't say,
They didn't say oranges.
grab an orange.
No, they probably didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
So
So what do we have in front of us then?
we're starting with a new variety that PCC was featuring, the Lulu, which
Okay.
Terry's very excited about.
Yeah.
And we've got an extra palate with us, Jamie Hunt of Fast Penny Spirits. That makes that beautiful Americano, which you all better get out and buy because we love it and it's winter and tastes spectacular. So let's start with the Lulu. I think it has an incredible burst of flavor.
It was definitely a surprise. I've never had this orange before, and I really like it. I think it's a good orange.
It's got good acidity too.
Which is a key, right? You
Yeah.
can't just have sugar. You have to have an acid balance.
Yeah. So
Jamie, what did you think of that Lulu?
I agree. That Lulu is delicious and
Yeah.
it bursts with flavor, and the balance of the sugar and the acid is really nice.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree.
everything about that one is just perfect. And then we're moving on to the Cara Cara. And I agree.
Which has kind of been the hottest orange going lately.
Hottest orange,
Yeah.
but you and I have both experienced disappointment
It's
this
a
season.
bad year.
This is definitely a terrible one. This is not a good one.
This is the third time I've had a bad Cara Cara this year, just because, they caught on so quickly. The name, the little pink color, everything was very hot about them. But
The segments in it are very. I love how
Oh, they're-
they're differentiated, but then there's no flavor once you
There is
bite
yeah.
into it.
It's a little
No-
bit drier.
No
too.
Yeah.
bones. Yeah, it's dry. It's no bone to it. It's missing many things.
Yeah. Sorry, Cara Cara. And then the Valencia is the one that we all recognize probably from orange juice the most. It's kind of that most typical American kind of
and
orange.
it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
it's
nothing-
not that. It's not that. I mean, if I had to make juice, that certainly wouldn't be my first pick.
No,
No.
it's a little watery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
It's
Uh,
missing a
And
little.
so, you know how you get watery, right? If they go sometimes for the big oranges, they just overwater the trees, basically. So you're getting a big orange full of water rather than the intense fruit.
Yeah, it's we can pass on that one.
yeah. The blood orange is next, and we got one with some pretty stunning colors, but
Yeah.
they do almost have a meaty characteristic, or is that just my
It's in your
brain?
head, I
It's in
think,
my head,
honestly.
right?
I
no,
find
I
them to
think-
be typically a bit acidic, and that's what I love about them.
Yeah, me too. I think it's a good cooking orange. I love cooking savory with blood orange because
Mhm.
it has that personality and it holds very well when you cook with it. So that's
Makes
my
a beautiful mimosa.
it makes great juice
Yeah.
because when you get that juice, you have lots of acid, very low sugar. So it's a
Yeah, low sugar. That makes it more appropriate for savory.
right and mixing with champagne.
Ah,
It's a
Yes, please.
or some sparkling.
I'm with you on
or
that.
some sparkling. It's
I-
good because it's not too sweet.
I also love it in salads. So
Yeah, in salad.
with
it's delicious.
fennel and
Yeah.
olive.
And since we eat with our eyes, it's often just a beautiful accent to
yeah.
Right.
a lot of things.
They
Yeah.
do also very well dry.
Now, when you're picking a blood orange at the grocery store, like all citrus, you want to make sure that they have a little bit of give to them. Those hard outside just means big, thick crust and often not as juicy. So limes, lemons, oranges, grapefruits, you want them to feel heavy for their size and have a little give in the when you press on them.
And
Almost like a ripe avocado has a little give.
Right. I know.
Same idea.
I also think like places like PCC should bring back the old cut the fruit in half in front of every stand of every fruit, so you can have at least a look inside. Because I'm pretty sure if I saw that caracara,
I just take a bite out of it and put it right back.
I think most produce guys will do that for you. I know at Ballard Market they're always willing to.
oh no
take a
when
knife
they're
and
there,
open
but they're
some-
not.
Yeah.
They're not always there.
The next one was a surprise to me.
The navel,
It tastes,
the standard
very
navel.
orangey and good, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, navel was good.
It gets a bad rap, like kind of like red delicious apples get a bad rap.
Oh, it's actually a good orange. I
Yeah.
think navel has been very consistent over the year.
And so the idea behind navels was they were supposed to be seedless, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the navel as well. I think
And this category is very popular because now they've got organic and heirloom. So some, I know. So they add another
it's like an
dollar a
antique, right?
pound.
It's not allowed to be called an antique unless it's 25 years old. So maybe this variety was made 25 years,
5 years ago.
All right, next is
We're moving out of the orange category and into a tangerine. Sumos are the rage right now.
I'll tell you, it was my favorite taste on the
Yeah,
plate.
it was
was, yeah.
definitely the most appealing mouthfeel and flavor aftertaste. That was my most favorite too. It was definitely, it's got a gorgeous personality.
I would agree. It lingers on the palate in a nice way.
Yeah.
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 It gives you a nice, it gives you, for me, it gave me a nice aftertaste flavor.
Mhm.
When you're making your Amaros, are you using things like orange peel and
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I use a sweet orange peel and then
Uh-huh.
a bitter orange peel
Oh,
to kind
nice.
of balance out.
That's a big differentiation that I was just learning about the sweet and the bitter
Mhm.
categories of oranges.
Yeah.
So you need both
yes.
for the end style you're looking for.
exactly.
But
Nice.
you don't use as much the juice. You use more like the peel and the white.
The rind.
peel.
Just the peel. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
dried,
Yeah.
and we put it into the mix.
all right, the next one you have is actual grapefruit, the motherland.
The motherland. This was a Shattuck pomelo,
Uh-huh.
and it had the most wonderful teardrop shape, not like the gigantic ones that you see, round ones you see
Right.
in the store.
It's delicious. I love the bite.
I haven't
Yeah.
It's
tasted
a
it
real
yet.
firm bite to it, but it's still juicy.
I
So
tell
the
you,
cell structure is just holding in all that lovely juice.
Yeah.
Mm.
for
Nice.
me, I'm a big fan of pink grapefruit. I love a good ripe pink grapefruit. So it's right up my alley. Pomelo is definitely in the same section for me.
So when you get color like the pink or like the red of the blood orange, is it like an apple skin where, like on a red delicious, you can taste the tannin, or you can
Yeah.
feel the tannin in your mouth?
There's a
Is
big
that the same
difference.
kind of distinction there, do you think?
Yeah, there is a difference between a yellow white grapefruit and a pink grapefruit. A good ripe pink grapefruit to me is a little bit more sweeter. I really enjoy it with a crab salad. That's always my first to go. If I see a beautiful pink grapefruit, I'm like, let's buy some Dungeness crab meat and mix the two together. Maybe a little celery root and just a nice little creme fraiche, the lump of creme fraiche in there. Makes a great salad.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's nice and light.
And we're going to finish with the Buddha hand. You see them all in the market now, looking so exotic.
Yeah.
And Chef Annie tells me, I thought you all couldn't eat it raw, but that it's
Well, I guess we're gonna die now.
But I was wrong because it's really delightful and has a completely different texture, but still has that citrusy, riney character.
Yeah.
So I want this in some thin strips on a piece
I was going to
of.
say, delightful isn't how I would have described it.
Mm,
It's to me, it's like eating a little bit of the, how you get a big piece of pith or something on a outside of a grapefruit. It's a little bit pithy to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I think you could probably peel it a little bit and shred it into a salad, and it would be delicious. I mean, I think it would be adding a little accent.
Yeah, I don't know if I would eat it whole, but it has some nice flavor. I get a little petroleum in the beginning,
Ooh.
which is kind of fun. And it's definitely a little more.
It's always
tannic.
nice to start with the petroleum because from there on, everything
It
tastes
gets
better.
better.
Yes, there you go.
All right, what a fun taste. Audience, what'd you guys think? What was your favorite? Pomelo.
Pomelo got some
Pomelo.
votes.
Lulu.
Lulu.
Tangerine.
Tangerine, yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Be
it's pretty much in the
adventuresome.
same as us. It's in the same spectrum of. That's basically the summarization of it. The Lulu, the pomelo, and
Yeah.
it's nice.
Tangerine.
The tangerine, yeah.
Buy it. Yeah. Get adventurous when you go to the supermarket this weekend.
All
Buy
right,
a
from
couple varieties.
citrus tasting to something that tastes super delicious with a big squeeze of citrus on top. Spinach up next on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
You should all head down to Guatemala after this because the crazy assortment.
Well, especially because it's
Lunar
Chinese
New
New
Year.
Year's. Yeah.
Yeah. And get one of the weird rice cakes. They've just got mountains of celebratory New Year rice cakes.
Yeah.
I didn't buy one though because I had to ask Annie how to eat it.
Open your mouth,
Yep.
pop it in.
Pop it in. Sean, you didn't get your orange plate.
Tom, did you know
So,
the
YouTubers, that's what a Buddha's hand looks like, in case you haven't seen it. There's the inside. So there's no, it's just big pile of it.
Yeah.
Go in my salad.
you gotta get over that. That would be you could make it work.
Everybody doing okay? Yeah.
Can't answer that.
You get that? You get that?
Popeye.
Yeah, you get that. All right.
I
just
didn't
ate
get
my
that.
spinach.
Do you remember Sally's spinach?
Yeah, what's that?
Salialago, just to saute with the raisins and the pine nuts.
It was just always perfect.
Who was Sally?
Sali Jude of
Oh, Jude.
Salialago.
Sally Alago.
But
Oh, you said Sally. I was like, who's Sally?
he never over wilted it. I just don't understand how he got it out so consistently
Tom used to do that
successful
too.
at the perfect point.
The first
Before
wilted spinach salad I had was at Rover's when Kevin was there. The first day I went into the kitchen, and he did a wilted spinach salad. And I never had one of those before.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to you, Cafe Sport, and you did the same thing over there.
I love wilted spinach.
Yeah.
Wilted
Yeah.
escarole salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I keep
call-
making that escarole with anchovies that you
Oh, do
talked
you?
about a couple
Yeah.
of weeks ago.
But you're right. It's the key is to not cook everything.
Yeah.
You just up out.
Yeah.
All right, here we are back in the hot stove kitchen. I'm feeling very strong. Very strong. Woohoo! Chef, do you want to give our listeners a musical clue of who made spinach most popular in the United States? Do you know the rest, Chef?
Yes.
There you go. That's Mr. Popeye's theme song. And Pamela, I'm going to have you tell us why Popeye was so important to spinach consumption here in the United States. Matter of fact, it's more than, it says,
Don't give it away.
okay, you tell the story.
There are many unsubstantiated stories of why, during the depths of the Great Depression, cartoonist E.C. Seeger chose the vegetable spinach to give his comic strip character Popeye the Sailor superhuman powers. Quite likely, it was his attempt to prompt children of all ages to eat more of this nutrient powerhouse. During that era, the diet of the average American was lacking in essential vitamins and minerals, and the nutritional well-being, especially of children, was of great concern.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked. And sales of spinach tripled, and kids started calling it their third favorite vegetables.
Yeah, and that trend of going on TV to promote a food item has not changed. I mean, look at Doritos. Just kidding.
So that was just a little piece that I encountered in thinking about spinach, but I think it's so important in the winter
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
because, it's a cool weather crop. If in Seattle, we can practically grow it.
It's pretty much all year round. I mean, I've had
All year
spinach in
round.
my garden,
Yeah.
just like sorrel. It's normally in most places in the world, it doesn't stay all summer. Well, with the summer we have here, it's pretty much stay all year round.
I always think of it as a spring and fall leafy herb, but you're saying that in the winter, after it dies back, like when it gets frozen, it'll come right back up.
Oh yeah, it's just
I've never
you know,
tried
the
it.
spinach, the chives, the chard, all those greens. They're kale. I mean, they pretty much stay all year round here. We don't, of course, when it gets 20 degrees, like you said, it definitely takes a hit, but it comes right back, and it's definitely sturdy. And
And it's just something that gives you that bright burst of color all through the winter. So I probably eat it 4 times a week because I just love it.
I
like-
love a quick saute. So real hot pan, olive oil. I put my garlic in for 2 seconds, 3 seconds before I put the spinach in. Because if you put the spinach in and put the garlic on top, you often end up with raw garlic.
Right.
Because the spinach cooks so fast, right?
I'm with
You have to
you.
give it just a couple of second head start and then your spinach and finish the saute. If you're using things like black currants or raisins or some sort of dried fruit, pine nuts, which are very popular, like in a little spinach saute, again, you want to get that stuff
Yeah.
kind of
I do
started
fried
and then
shallots.
finish with your
Fried shallots.
saute.
Yeah, I fry the shallot like Tom. I do it first because, like he said, the spinach is. I mean, spinach in a pan that's hot.
Yeah.
Is a matter of like 5 seconds.
5-10 seconds.
Yeah, 10
That's
at
for
the
a
most.
wilted spinach.
Correct.
If you
For
want it
wilted.
cooked, it's going to be at least 30 seconds.
Yeah, but the point is, it much faster than cooking shallots. Shallots don't cook in 5 seconds, so neither does garlic. So the same thing is, I pre-fried my shallots ahead of time, before I put the spinach in. Then I put the spinach at the last minute, and a little heat, maybe at the end, and then you have this wonderful little.
And what
salad.
about the lemon? I think sometimes I put my lemon in too early.
Yeah, you got to get the hot sear first and then hit it with the lemon and get it out of the pan.
Yeah.
You don't need to cook the lemon juice.
So
and lemon is not the only thing. Vinegar does well with spinach. You could finish with a balsamic, or you could finish with a red wine vinegar. That's really delicious one. You could finish with some sake. Does really well with spinach.
that's a great idea.
You could finish.
That
I mean, there's
sounds-
many different, liquids that you can add. Lemon is obviously the most common one, but we always use lemon.
But if you're wilting your salad, I think the key to all that is you're wilting your salad. You get the quick wilt on it, and then you add your
Correct.
dressing and get it. You don't want to cook it at all with the
Right.
juices.
But if I was to put, for example, pancetta or bacon or something of that nature in my spinach that's already rendered on the side, add that to the spinach, I would certainly go more tannins to go with red wine vinegar, for example,
Right.
of something of that nature.
We always called like a German potato salad where you added
Yeah.
the mustard and the vinegar and gave
Yeah.
it that sweet and sour a bit. You have on your list of things cream spinach, which I happened to make for the
I
first
know,
time in
let's hear about
25
it.
years last night from my cookbook. It was an ode to Labuznik restaurant. Peter Cipra, the owner there, was one of my favorite chefs in town. Jackie and I dated there 40 years ago when we were first going out. It was down at First and Virginia. But he always had a little side of cream spinach and sugared carrots that you could get. Those were his vegetables.
Mm.
And I made I made it the way he made it, with a little bit of roux, a little bit of
Roux.
He put a roux in his spinach.
What?
he made a bechamel and
Ah.
but he also cooked the spinach separately. So in a big pot of boiling water, blanch the spinach, pull it out, squeeze it out. I mean, right now you would say just go buy frozen spinach, right?
Yeah.
Because it's somewhat similar. But I did it 5 bags of spinach yesterday,
Wow.
And I pulled it out, blanched it, squeezed it out, chopped it lightly. I don't want it minced.
Sure.
I hate pureed creamed spinach. It's just like,
No, yeah.
if I want that, I'll go to an Indian restaurant and they have that spinach with this cheese in it.
Oh yeah, those little leaves.
It's
yeah.
like it's been cooked for a couple hours or something.
Mhm.
Anyway, it was really good. It just was a blast from the past.
So you finished at blanch, you diced a little bit.
Put it into my bechamel,
Yeah.
stirred it up, served it.
Bechamel. Oh my God, that would never even come to mind.
Yeah.
to put
Now,
bechamel.
Peter was a Czechoslovakian refugee. He actually escaped from Czechoslovakia during the Russian invasion. And so he had all these kind of classic things. And it was fascinating when I was doing the book, kind of work through the recipes, thinking I could just go from my taste memory, which is often how I cook. A couple of things I just couldn't get. One was the Eastern European dumplings.
Mhm.
I still don't have them mastered. And I did get the roast pork, though. Low and slow.
I'm sure you would get that straight.
250 degrees for 3 hours, 4 hours.
Nice. Was
really.
it? How big was it?
The roast itself was 6 pounds.
Yeah.
About 8 bones.
Nice.
Pork roast. All right, spinach. We love it all, and it is.
Eat it as much as you can tolerate it, raw and cooked.
And you
Just-
get that. A lot of people don't tolerate the tannic nature of it
The
because it kind of
oxalic acid.
oxalic acid. Yeah, it kind of coats your teeth when you're eating it.
Yeah, just
Mhm.
remember one thing about spinach. Wash them 3 times and pick them out of the water. Don't drop the water on top of the spinach.
Tell it.
Does anyone buy whole bunches of spinach
I
anymore?
do all the time.
Yes, that's the only way I buy it.
No way.
How
You
do
don't
you
buy the
buy
bags, the clean bags?
I buy spinach by the bunch at PCC.
Boy, my back.
And believe me, they are
I don't know
dirty.
what to say. I don't know what to say about that.
Uh,
Well, you have more patience than I do for spinach. Up next, visit from Eliza Ward, the owner of Chef Shop, and Greg Dunmore of the Japanese Pantry, with ideas on improving your pantry and stories and products from the artisanal Japanese producers. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
It took you a long time to get out.
Huh?
That was a long.
I know. Well, I realized I wasn't going to, half of it didn't make sense, so I had to do the whole thing.
Hello.
Are we sharing a mic?
yeah, so that you don't both talk at the same time.
Oh, you think that's gonna help?
You think that's gonna stop
It
her?
would be 4.
Good morning. Good.
Okay.
Pamela, you're going to come up here and take over for me.
Are you leaving now?
Yep.
Are you gonna introduce them?
Good morning, Greg.
I'm happy to introduce them.
I'm Thierry.
Oh, actually, I have time to do the first segment.
Likewise. Like the whole look, the
Gift bag.
scarf.
I'm coming back. I just have to run down to Edda's and do an evening magazine spot, and then I'm going to be right back.
That's what they say before they go on advertising. We'll be right back. Oh my God, look at these beautiful things. Bonito Flex. Is that bonito? No.
Pamela, can we get some of this open so we can try some of it?
Everything is open. I opened everything that Pam had. Well, most things are open. You don't want to try kombu, I don't think. But
Maybe not with my coffee. I'll wait.
and then we need spoons.
What do you need? Yeah, right there.
Thank you.
On the table. There you go.
Millions and millions of spoons. Whoa.
And we were thinking about doing a taste comparison between our soy sauce and kikkoman.
Well, that should be. It's always a nice one to do. You take Kikkoman and then beat the crap out of it, because that's gonna be an easy one.
If people want to taste the difference. It's
What's the yellow cap?
this one?
Yeah,
There's Sakuchi, so it's cooking soy sauce.
yeah. I have a very similar but in smaller quantity in my house, in my fridge. I put it in my fridge
Are you gonna
because
start with soy?
I'm gonna start with my little thing about
Right.
and then you're gonna start with soy because it's
Yeah.
if we can compare
Foundation.
these two, then it's really obvious to your audience. here, like the difference between
Excellent.
two different qualities. If that's okay with you. You get to decide because you're the boss.
Do me a favor and pour us what we're going to try first so that we're not doing that while we're on the air.
Oh, how do you want to do that?
Your choice. Just give us the bottle and we'll pour it out. What things do you want us to taste?
Okay, so the first thing we're going to taste is these two
Kikkoman
and
versus
this, right? He's like, I'll do whatever. So we're going to do that one. Hopefully, what's that? Well, I haven't tasted it. Just okay. So, what do you think, Tom? Do we want to do the Kikkoman as a comparison? I know, right? But that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point.
Yeah, it'd be nice to compare a really good soy sauce next to a Kikkoman. Because one of the things we often do is, you want us to try this?
Sure.
is that a mirin? What is that?
That's a sesame oil.
Oh, nice.
One of the things we try to do is say, is it worth it? So Kikkoman is $3. This
Right.
is $10. Is it worth it?
Yeah, you can just, and obviously it's up. Once you taste, people decide for themselves.
Yeah.
But there's also, we brought the probably
Thank
highest
you.
quality
Appreciate that.
soy sauce that we have, and there's obviously things in between, price wise and quality wise.
I'm good. All right, I got to get this segment out so that I can take off. Welcome back. It's the Hot Stove Society Show on Cairo. Thank you for joining us. The audience is too busy eating their breakfast.
Yeah, they don't even clap anymore. What is this?
What is going on? You have to earn your keep around here. Eliza's a chef shop owner. It's a wonderful resource for building a well-stocked pantry. And tell us about Chef Shop a little bit.
We're mostly a high-end ingredient shop.
I just want you to pull the mic over in front of you.
Okay.
Sean, if you could fix that for me, that'd be
How
great.
about like that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. High-end, we focus mostly on high-end ingredients.
Okay.
We also have confections. Obviously, you've been in our shop during Christmas time when it's confection season, but we mostly focus on the pantry, high-end pantry shop.
I bought a bunch of people the Buna Futura panettone at your shop this year. I bought, I think, one at your shop, but I bought a bunch directly from Buna.
Uh-huh.
And everyone just went crazy for it.
Yeah.
And that's
do
not
it.
even your favorite. You have so many different ones.
Yeah, we do. And we do a big panettone business. It's a lot of fun that time of year, but that's over.
So Chef Shop is now, I mean, I go there for certain things. I love your orchietti. You have a beautiful olive oil selection, and it's unlike some fancy stores. You actually have tasting samples out sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
COVID kind of put a little kibosh on that, but it's coming back.
yeah. You have, I know we're going to talk about some of the Japanese items. But we have
Yeah.
two segments. So I want to talk about things like, I'm trying to think of the citrus that you have that I buy there that,
Is it the ponzu sauce?
no, this candied
Yuzu.
citrus.
Oh, the candied yuzu peel.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
yuzu.
It's really good in fruitcake and
It's-
things
yeah,
like
it's
that. A little
tasty.
butter cookie
It's
and
tasty.
yeah.
So yeah, we're a high-end pantry store, and today Pam asked me to come by and really talk about like what you can do fairly simply to upgrade your pantry in order to really give your cooking a lift.
Hmm.
And our philosophy at Chef Shop is really there's two things you can do to improve your pantry relatively easily that make a huge difference. The first thing is to really select for flavor that we're looking for more than anything else. And most of our flavor actually comes from our pantry. But I think people don't understand that. I think they think of their pantry ingredients mostly as those taste components, the acid or the salt or the bitter or whatever it is you're adding. But really, if you select for flavor, you're going to get a lot more flavor in your cooking overall.
Mhm.
So the first thing I would recommend people do is select for flavor. It's hard to do because you can't taste a lot of the ingredients that you're buying in the grocery store. That's one of the reasons why the taste component of our shop is so
Right.
important.
Right. Customization is very important here.
Right. I'm also very selective. I select for a lot of different things, tradition and providence and purity, but number one is flavor.
Right.
So if it doesn't have the flavor, because you want to add that flavor to your cooking, that's what your palate is seeking. The second thing is really to understand taste. And I know you guys talk about this a lot, the sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami. And make sure that the taste components that you are selecting for your pantry are balanced. That can also potentially add flavor. Not all taste components add flavor, but a lot of them do, and that's always when if you can get taste and flavor together, that's a good thing. And of course, the Japanese are masters at that with the sweet, umami, the fifth taste that we talk about. They're particularly masterful at that, but they're also masterful at balancing all those taste components so that when you add quality ingredients, if they know what they're doing and they're high quality, because quality and taste and quality and flavor go together, that they add to your cooking and not distract from your cooking, or that you're not over salting, for example, or adding too much taste in order to seek flavor.
Right.
Right.
The other
One
thing
more-
I like about, go ahead,
Sorry,
Chef.
one more thing I really like is the size of the bottles you buy, especially when you buy new items like, even soy sauce or whatever. It's nice that they're in smaller bottle. I think it's very important because, at the beginning, you don't have as many many places to use it.
Yep.
So it's nice that you learn
Yeah.
through that, and then you can buy the big one at Wajimaya and, whatever, and put
Well,
that
the
in
big
your-
one for me. I have food service
Yeah,
sizes too.
me too. You know what I'm saying is,
Yes.
especially like things like sesame oil that goes bad fairly quickly. You have to,
Use it
really
up. Yep.
be conscientious of that. And I like the size of it.
Yep.
It's usually in smaller sizes. So
Right. And I think as non-Asian, if you're not generally doing Asian cooking, or if you're using those Asian ingredients to add to your more Western style cooking in order to boost the flavor or boost the taste, you're not going to be using them all the time.
Right.
So you do want the smaller flavors. The smaller bottles.
unless you're like me, you make a dressing out of everything. And it's always a great safety when I see there's only this much soy sauce left. I put a little Dijon mustard in it, some toasted sesame oil, make a great dressing, put that in the fridge for the next 2 weeks. I see
Yep.
that tag, soy dressing. I'm like, okay, use that. And you cook a piece of fish, you put that right on top. It's done. You
Yep.
don't have to worry about that.
Exactly. So we're talking with Eliza Ward from Chef Shop, that cute little yellow building. It's right next to Holy Mountain Brewery and 206 Distillery, and there's a consignment furniture shop on the other side.
It's halfway point between downtown and Ballard.
A lot of people get freaked out there because they don't know they can park until 3:00 right in front of your store.
You can. Plus, there's a parking lot next to Champions Party Supply that is a shared parking lot amongst all our buildings, so you can park there as
It's a
well.
busy little intersection, and I think
Yeah,
It is.
it is a
makes people
busy
a little
area.
nervous.
It's a little
Anyway,
scary.
I love stopping in there. You've brought a guest with you today, Eliza.
I did. When we started talking about upgrading our pantry, it naturally turned towards Japanese ingredients. And so I asked my friend Greg, the owner of Japanese Pantry down in the Bay Area and one of my key suppliers, to come up and talk a little bit about both some key ingredients that we all have in our pantry and what it means to upgrade those, as well as more unusual Japanese ingredients that would be easy to add to your pantry and easy to use to then, lift your cooking.
All right, Greg, you're on.
Okay.
You have to share that mic. I'm sorry. We're not a Martha Stewart around here. We don't have 8 cameras, and
We do, but we don't tell anybody.
we have about a minute to kind of introduce yourself, and then when we come back, we're going to do a little tasting.
Okay, great. So I'm Greg Dunmore of the Japanese Pantry. And I've been a chef for 25 years. I had a restaurant in San Francisco. I got a Michelin star. But I got really into Japanese food products. And or Japanese cuisine, when I would go back to the States and come back from Japan, I was like, why can't I get good stuff here? So I ended up opening this company about 7 years ago. And my business partner and I were trying to come up with the name for our company. And we're trying to Washoko this. And I was like, we're just trying to build a Japanese pantry. And he's like, bam, that's it. That's it.
Nailed it.
Japanese pantry.
And so we have an online retail shop. And then we also do a wholesale to chefs across the country, of distributors and all next to the woods. Eliza's our Seattle distributor. But really what we're trying to do is everyone in a chef's kitchen or a home kitchen has a bottle of soy sauce and a bottle of rice vinegar and sesame oil. We're just trying to show them to elevate that to the next
Right.
level. That's a
Awesome.
focus
Well,
of our
we're going to
company.
elevate ourselves to that next level. Pam and Thierry are. I have to take a quick break, but in our next segment, we're going to do a little tasting, our own little tasting panel on inexpensive soy sauce, expensive soy sauce, delicious and not delicious soy sauce.
Is it worth it?
It's both. You got to answer both of those questions. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM. All right, I'll be back in 20.
It's So this is what I'm confused. We're doing
Wait,
these two soy
did you say
sauces and
10:30?
sesame oil next?
Oh.
Or
So, yeah.
are we just going to talk
And
about
then
stuff?
Oh, he can just come over here.
Okay.
Greg, you want to just come here and then you can have your own mic?
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cam, do we have 2 more segments or
Yeah.
just 1 more segment?
2 more.
So he was incorrect?
He was incorrect. He doesn't read the show sheet.
I know.
What can I say?
All right, so you can spend a whole segment with your chat
No, he
about
is-
the
he's
3
confused.
ingredients that they're tasting.
He's
And
scared.
yes,
Okay.
There is 2 more.
He's doing too many things at once.
Yeah, and the sesame seeds. Oh, I forgot
That's a
about that.
really beautiful sesame oil.
Hey, Pam, can we pass out the sesame seeds too so people can try them?
Lightly roasted. It's gorgeous. It reminds me.
Amazing.
It reminds me
What's
of my
what are you
argan
talking
oil.
about?
I love argan oil. I just went to Morocco and it reminds me very much of that delicateness.
Or you can put them in people's dishes and they can taste them with their hands or, yeah, next to everything else.
These are as transporting as that oil. My head's gonna explode. Did you guys stick your finger in the oil yet? Holy moly.
No, it's not holy moly. It's sesame oil.
Oh, sesame.
Any of you watched the show on HBO called White Lotus?
Yeah.
I just finished the second series last night.
Oh, wow.
My God, what an insane show. I never binged anything, but this was crazy. And I was not expecting the ending to be her dying. Oh my God. Yeah, that's exactly how it was.
When did you get back from Morocco?
November, October.
You're just like a traveling fool, there, Katie.
Yeah, except now I can't travel because I have a lung issue. I have pulmonary fibrosis.
Oh, no.
So now I'm like, my oxygen is down and
So you
I
get
have a
winded.
machine. So I got to get back on track and maybe lung transplant. Who knows?
Maybe they'll make the machine smaller and smaller. You can just take it.
That gets bigger and
Just take
bigger. Smaller and smaller makes your lung bigger and bigger.
Terry, leave. You can get going with it. Get great talking.
All right.
Okay, I don't shut up.
You guys
sometimes.
ready? We're back in the kitchen of the Hot Stove Society at the Hotel Andra on 4th and Virginia, downtown Seattle. I'm Thierry Roturo, the chef in the hat, and Tom, I think, went and got lost in the kitchen somewhere. So I will take over and just keep going.
Keep going.
Greg, please re-announce yourself.
Hi, I'm Greg from the Japanese Pantry. We are a high-end Japanese artisanal importer. And yeah, I'm here.
Well,
with-
you seem to have a very high quality product right in front of you because you poured us a little sample of what we were going to try, and I'm already in with just 2 items. So can't wait to hear all about it. How did the whole, I mean, you love Japanese food, obviously, and did you go to Japan?
I've been in Japan often, yes. You know, as a chef, you kind of look for what your cuisine you want to kind of cook. And it wasn't until I went to Japan and I realized that that's what I wanted to cook. And like, that's like was my passion, is Japanese food. For so long it was Italian, but then I was like, I just was blown away by the flavors, the textures, everything about Japanese food, the way it looked, the aesthetics.
And the culture is also very
Oh.
highly focused on that.
Oh, it's
It
huge.
seems crazy. I mean,
You can't get a bad meal in Japan. It's really
Yeah.
true. It's hard.
And so, what was the first thing that really blew you away when you went to Japan? Because I'm always curious about it. When I have experience like this going to, for example, Morocco. We were just talking about Morocco and things like this. But when you went to Japan, what was the first thing that you went?
The
Oh my
very
God.
first thing,
I hope-
truthfully, so we were going to celebrate Osaka and San Francisco were sister cities, and they invited 5 chefs,
Uh-huh.
and I was one of the chefs. And my other chef friend was already there, so we got to the hotel, and we were like, we're hungry. He's like, go to this chicken restaurant. He's like, it's a left, and it's a right, and it's on the left. And I was like, okay. So we had just gotten off the plane to the hotel, and we're walking, and I'm so glad he gave us the directions, the left, right, or whatever, because everything was in characters, and I just couldn't read
Right.
anything. But we're like, is this it? And there was 3 cute Japanese girls, and they go, chicken, chicken, chicken. We're like, this has got to be it. So we walked in, and then
Well,
we
yeah,
get
I mean, 3 girls telling you chicken, chicken, chicken.
I
You
mean,
gotta come
I
in.
can't go wrong. Yeah. So we got the menu, and it was all in characters, and I was like, what do we do? So we did that. Oh, we'll take that. We'll take that. The first thing we got was a whole chicken sashimi. So
Whoa.
What?
it was amazing. I went back to that restaurant 5 years later, and they had an English menu, and there wasn't that chicken sashimi on there. I had to ask for it in Japanese to get it, and they had to ask me, "Are you sure?"
Wow.
But it was amazing. And
That
I'd always
started
heard
your
about
journey.
it, and that started my journey. And I was like, from there, I was like, I trust everything
and
Japanese.
that's a lot of
Yeah.
trust when you eat a raw chicken.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we-
good.
I had read about that, so it wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't scared, and
No,
it
no,
was
of
awesome.
course.
Yeah.
You have to try it no matter where you're there.
yeah.
I mean, you're gonna try it. But so was it just the raw chicken that was so attractive, or was it the condiments and everything that was with it? Or
Oh, the condiments, because everything was different. Like the gizzard and the liver were paired with like a salted sesame oil, and then the thigh was with like a soy ginger,
Right.
and then the breast was with like just a plain soy sauce and wasabi. So it was all very different and
Wow.
just unique. And so it's like, wow, they really thought about
see,
this.
I haven't
yeah.
had that
Captured
yet. I
you.
need to have that.
You're going to have to go to Japan, I think.
Yeah, no, of course. We're never gonna get a
We're
raw
not gonna get
chicken
that
in
here.
the States. That's not gonna happen. And I probably don't even want it unless I see
I'm
that
with you
chicken
on that.
every day of my life.
I know, right? Grow your own chicken. too.
Yeah.
I think we should dig in on the soy right
Yeah.
now so we
Okay.
don't
Okay.
miss it because it's such a complicated and big story when you get outside of what we eat here in America.
Sure, sure. So in America, we're used to a certain brand of soy sauce. It's kind of in every pantry that we see. And like I had mentioned in my previous segment, is we're there to elevate. Our company is there to elevate that pantry, show you that there is a really good shoyu or soy sauce out there. So we have in this small bottle is Horikawai no Mora Mitsuboshi. This soy sauce brewer is over 300 years old. And they've just been making 4 misos and 1 soy sauce that whole time. They've never upgraded the production methods, meaning like now a lot of producers will cook their soybeans in like a propane vat. They do everything over a wood fire. And,
Nice.
yeah. So you get a slight smoke to this one, but tons of umami. Very unique. It's probably my favorite soy sauce. It's not cheap, but it is like it's for
Well,
the
the f-
gourmet.
Again, when we were talking about the citrus, we were talking about finishing and everything. I think it's the same thing with this. You eat it or you taste it, you swallow it, and then you go, wow, that's an interesting finish because it stays there. It's not obnoxious like just salt. It's not, like what you use with your typical inexpensive soy sauce.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's very different. It's very
Exactly.
The
It's classy.
texture. Why is we in the studio we poured it next to Kikkoman, even though Greg didn't want us to ruin people's palates. But you can see by the way it looks and the texture of yours.
right.
It's
It's
a completely different
Oh,
food.
100%. I
It's
mean,
100%. Yeah, it's richer, it's smoother, it's not as harsh. You get a lot more flavor. It is more expensive, but you're going to use a lot less of it.
Kikkoman's industrial. This soy sauce in particular is an industrial. This is a family made, 300 years old, been doing that for the same way. So you get this handcrafted
Right.
flavor. Really,
I mean,
It's really as complex as something like balsamic vinegar, or it really is. It's
yeah, I
got-
mean, it's no different than anything that's crafted versus factory made. I mean, it's just what it is.
makes a huge
Factory made has to give to be able to be factory made. You can't make this in factory.
Yeah,
Because there is
100%.
two
Or in
guys around a
volume.
wood fire over a cauldron, whatever. It's like you can't make that happen in the factory. It's never gonna happen.
So you
100%.
must have different styles of soy sauce at home when you're cooking, or do you rely on only one?
Oh no, 100%. There's 5 varieties of soy sauce in Japan. There's white, light, dark, double brewed, and then tamari. And they're actually different varieties, and they're all
Can you
regional.
give us a quick primer on that?
Yeah. So white soy sauce is the flip of dark. So white soy sauce is mostly wheat with a little bit of soybeans,
Mhm.
and that's the flip of dark soy sauce. So white soy sauce is used for in certain regions like the Kansai and Kyoto. It's very prevalent there because they don't want to darken their foods at all. So their broths are very clear. So that's kind of where it's used there. And then you have a light soy sauce, which is basically same thing. It's more wheat than it is. Well, it's probably half and half wheat and soybeans is the makeup, but that's used for cooking. It's really salty, but like you add a little bit to a broth, it's definitely not going to color it. Now, then you have dark soy sauce, and dark soy sauce is very prevalent up in the Tokyo area. So a lot of the broths in Tokyo are going to be a lot darker than they are in like Osaka or Kyoto. And then a double brewed is basically soy sauce made with the 5 ingredients, which is soybeans, wheat, koji, water, and salt. And then they go make a new batch with new soybeans, koji, and salt. I'm sorry, wheat. And then they omit the water and salt and just add the soy sauce they made before. So it's like, and that's really used for like sashimi and putting it. It actually makes a great ice cream too. And then you have tamari. So tamari doesn't mean gluten-free in Japan. Tamari means something of a pressing. So in traditional tamari, we sell a tamari that's 3 years old. And so they age the soy mash in these cedar vats for 3 years, and they put river rocks on top. After 3 years, the rocks are removed. The solid is a hacho miso, and then the liquid is tamari. So something you get from pressing.
Super intense,
Oh.
super
Yeah.
dense. Yeah.
It's a
So-
I like
beautiful-
tamari a lot. It's a good. You have to use it very lightly, obviously, and can't eat it by the spoon. But it's a gorgeous. I think it's a gorgeous product.
It's beautiful. He has a beautiful.
Yeah, I
Like,
would think.
it's
I would
so
think you
thick,
would.
yeah.
Tamari.
It almost, our tamari tastes like doesn't taste like a red wine, but it's like when you taste it like you would be a red wine. Let it sit in your palate and it's
Yeah.
just going to change. Like at first, it's got a nice kind of umami, almost fishiness, and then it changes to a resonated flavor. It's really
If you make a
stellar.
beef tartare instead of anchovy, I use tamari.
oh yeah.
Delicious.
So you've got to be really careful understanding the American labeled ones versus the Japanese ones. You're going to get a completely different product.
100%. So I think this is like, I see Japanese food where I saw Italian food 20 years ago. Because I know that when I was a chef of a restaurant, I had this guy came in and tasted me on like 6 different olive oils that were amazing. I was like, I cannot go back to using bad olive oil. And I feel like that's happening with Japanese food. We're getting like, everyone's becoming more knowledgeable about that.
So when we come back, Greg, we're going to talk about sesame seed and toasted sesame oil because I'm so impressed by that product you just brought us here today. So stick around and we're going to have more testing going on. Stay with us on Cairo 97.3 FM.
I'm dedicating my life.
Sorry,
to
Greg.
these sessions.
No
Have to
problem.
go.
I can talk too much.
I know.
So cut me off. That's good.
No, it's good. It doesn't. I was trying to find a way to not cut the conversation and move on to the next project. Okay, cool. We introduced the next project, so it's good.
What is?
Yum.
What do you want to?
So we got
What are we gonna do next?
one segment left. How are we going to narrow it down?
Did
You
you?
guys have this?
Well, we're gonna
yet?
talk about the seeds
And the sesame.
and the sesame oil. I want to talk about that oil.
Okay.
And what else?
And I think we should talk about, one of the products we brought was the shirodashi, which is,
Oh.
got all these umami components
Yeah.
but already together. So it's great for a home user who wants to bring that umami into their cooking.
Cool. Can explain about that, and then we'll finish with you saying it's a chef shop, and all those products are available. And do they go on? Or you can say if you have a site or whatever you want to.
And don't mention
Promote
your site,
that.
Greg.
Just
My site.
chefchef.com. Just chefchef.
But this is your chance to promote yourself.
If I say something wrong, she'll buzz me like the lectures.
I know.
It's
All right.
about me.
All right, we're back in the kitchen at the Hot Stuff Society radio show in the Hotel Androt, corner of 4th and Virginia, downtown, beautiful Seattle, Washington.
And dreaming of trips to Japan.
Dreaming of
Leading
Kyoto,
us to the best
Tokyo,
places.
Osaka, and I was fortunate enough to go to Kumamoto twice. That was very nice. Greg Dunmore is our guest, and he has the Japanese pantry. And you can purchase, by the way, everything we're talking about today is available at Chef Shop. If you don't know Chef Shop, Google it up. It's everywhere. And if you have a chance to be on 15 Northwest in downtown Seattle,
Yeah,
go
stop
visit.
by.
You'll have the best tasting you've ever had in your life, and you won't be drunk on the way out. All right, Greg, let's get back to you. And we talked about soy sauce, the 5 different types available in Japan. And now let's get into the other side that I like. It's the oil, and especially the toasted sesame oil. You have an oil you pour here, and I just tried it. This is probably the most delicate toasted sesame oil I've had in my life. It is gorgeous. And it reminds me, I was telling you, very reminiscing of the lightness and the beauty of like argan oil, from Morocco and all that. Absolutely beautiful product. Do tell about it.
Sure. This is from a producer called Wadaman out of Osaka. They're about 150 years old. They are known as like the best sesame producer in Japan. Before I start, there is, just to make this straight, there's 3 different varieties of sesame seeds in the world. There's white, golden, and black. They're not different roasts, they're actual varieties. So the white comes from Ethiopia, the golden is Turkey, and the black is Bolivia. And what we have is the golden oil. And these oils are really what got me to think about making a company to import the Japanese Pantry, because I was invited to go to this producer, and I was just taken back in this small room, and they were making these oils by hand, and I was like, I had tasted all 3 side by side, and like I had mentioned before about the olive oils, I was like, oh my gosh, I've never. And so this is a special oil because this is roasted just above medium roast. So you're going to get a little bit of roast, but you get the characteristics of the seed itself, where a lot of the stuff that we see in the States here is unroasted, or I feel like overly roasted.
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
over. I would say
Yeah.
over roasted is, yeah, you're right. They're unroasted or over roasted.
Yeah. So
Because
it's
all
like,
you taste is the roast as opposed to the sesame.
it's like so monotone in flavor. So yeah, this is a very delicate. This is like one of our #1 sellers is the golden. We have a dark golden too. I recommend the dark golden. I recommend having both in your pantry because I like to have that dichotomy of flavors. And it's really unique. We also have the sesame seeds. There are black sesame
Yes.
seeds, and these have been brined in sea salt
Oh,
and then roasted. So they're
right.
salty black sesame seeds, and these are just a fun thing to put on a salad,
Oh, yeah.
on top of a crudo or something. Or we had chefs that we sold to in the Bay Area that liked them so much they would buy kilos for the kitchen and just have them as snacks.
Yeah.
And someone was like, "You should get them and make them like for the ballpark so people can eat them like sunflower seeds, because they're a really good snack."
They're so good.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a great topping to anything because it's very easy to eat. And I could see having a little bag of it, watching the ball game, and just be eating them. But it's too bad sesame seeds are not bigger because that would be a lot easier to eat.
Yeah, they don't get stuck in your teeth.
No, this is delicious product. I mean, kudos to you for finding all these different goodness. And so if one wants to purchase such items, we go to Chef Shop.
Yeah,
Elisa?
we've been working with Japanese Pantry for many years, and we carry pretty much every product they have or can get it.
You had one more you were going to tell us about.
Oh, so when we talk about upgrading the pantry, umami is a big topic. The fifth taste, umami, it really kind of is an unctuousness and a thing like the way taste performs in our kitchen to lift flavor. Umami also lifts flavor. And there's a lot of things in Japanese food that have umami or have balanced taste. But Greg brings in this shirodashi, which kind of combines a lot of those ingredients together. So it's got the mirin, it's got the kombu, it's got the katsuboshi or the bonito, and it's all in there for you. So it is what I've discovered with the chefs that I work with. They make a lot of their own shirodashi, but
Right.
here and they get all the different ingredients and make it themselves. But here it's all made for you. So it's a great
Is it a powder
ingredient.
form,
No, it's a
or-
liquid form. Greg can tell you a little bit more about it and show it to you.
So this is a 2-parter. This is Nito Jozo. This is their white soy sauce, or white tamari they call it. It's 100% wheat. And so the base of the shirodashi is this condiment.
Right?
And then this, like as she said, has mirin, kombu, katsubushi added to it. This is a really interesting product because this is a Japanese, like someone at home, like a home cook in Japan. This is like their cheat thing to make, like, because it has dashi in it, soy. It's a condiment. But we found when we started the Japanese pantry that all these chefs were asking for it, and they use it. So they've been like Japanese home cooks this whole time, using it in like tartars or dressings or something like that. And it's just really adding different layers of flavor. And yeah, it's amazing. I find myself reaching at home for these 2 things all the time. I'm like, what's this missing? Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like, and it's endless. Like, my wife is getting mad at me sometimes because I would be like, she'd be making a soup or something. I come in and be like, what'd you do? And now she just grabs it herself and puts it in there. 'Cause
Yeah, I
she's
think
like, "Oh."
it's one thing that most home cooks don't have is that ability to open the fridge and take that bottle and make their dish from ordinary to extraordinary.
Yep.
You just take that step and you go, bingo, my soup now tastes like something beautiful, as opposed to, it's kind of blah or missing something. And you got all these veggies, maybe some sausage or whatever and you're like these beans and you're making this Italian soup, but it doesn't have the depth yet, and you're like, poof, a little dash of that, and bingo.
It's like
It's
a
done.
yeah, it's like a magic secret ingredient.
Yeah, and I think it's very so. You owe it to yourself to go to chef shop and have Elisa give you a lesson and testing, more importantly, and educate yourself about how to discover just a little dash of flavor of to add to your food for many different circumstances. It could be oil on your finishing steamed fish, or it could be in a salad. It could be your soy in your tartar or into your appetizer you're making, or sauteed mushroom. Finish with a little dashi.
Yep, and I think a lot of us have this experience where we're making something like a gravy, and it's like you have all that unctuousness and you have the salt, and there's something missing, and you can't figure out what it was.
Right.
Or what it is. And often something like the shirodashi makes all the difference in the world, because you're adding all those elements of taste at the same time, and it just heightens the entire
All this
dish.
beautiful squash soup right now that people are making, because I have a few quarts of butternut squash in my freezer, and you just warm up that soup and you put a little bit of that toasted sesame on top, the salted sesame and the oil. Oh,
Delicious.
you take that to a different level.
Yeah.
Could you just say the components of that again?
The
Of the
shirodashi.
shirodashi. So it's a base of white soy sauce, and then it has katsubushi, kombu, mirin, and I believe dried shiitakes as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you get a good
That
mirin
sounds
too.
like
Yeah, we have a good mirin.
I love mirin. Oh,
We have a good mirin.
it's always a good one to finish something.
And
Like if you
I didn't get into your website much. Are there producer stories?
100%. Yes.
So we should educate ourselves a little bit before we go to chef shop about.
Definitely.
Oh,
Look at the
really? Yeah.
producers, read about them. It's fascinating because they've been doing, like I said, the soy sauce we tasted earlier is 300 years old. And that's just a story in itself right there.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's older than our country. So
it's the JapanesePantry.com, I take it.
yes,
That's good. Or chefshop.com.
chefchef.com.
Please go and discover. I think it's very
Yeah,
important.
just do your research on their site and then come buy from me.
There we go.
Yeah. And you're
Are-
not a chef cooking in a restaurant anymore.
No,
This Japanese pantry is your full time.
full time. Yeah. And I do cooking shows, cooking classes in San Francisco as well.
Nice.
Well, congratulations and
Thank
thank
you.
you for showing some beautiful product. I'm sure people are going to be enthused to try those. I know I am. Thank you for coming over.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elisa.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
All right, coming up next is our famous tasty trivia. Let's see who's going to win. And one more importantly, what is the topic today, Pam?
Oh, it's widely varied.
Widely varied. So that means
Anybody could win.
we're going to get shot in the dark. All right, stay with us on 97.3 FM Parrot.
Anybody have questions for Greg while we've got him captive, or you want to look a little more closely at his
Oh, yeah. We have.
That's another thing about Japanese product. They have a name of their own, and some of them are very foreign to most people.
I know you need to learn them.
So you need to learn them.
Have you ever used the shield?
No. I know. I'm sure I would.
It's like
I'm gonna go on
This is the soy sauce. Yeah.
easier.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's a bit harder. You still have steps?
It's about 18 months.
Wait, you're on the
It's
main
not gonna
floor?
go
Yeah.
bad. What's going to
It's
happen
a-
is
Did you
you'll
used
lose
to be
nuances
upstairs?
after 18
Never.
months.
So it's a
After
yellow
you
building
open,
right
yes.
next to Holy Mountain,
After you
sort of
open the
near
refrigerator.
Albert
Who was
Lake.
upstairs before? What?
We don't have an
That's
upstairs
about
in our
2
building,
years.
but
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
were in a different building. We were on the main floor, and there was people upstairs. We
Oh,
moved next door.
in my house.
remember Mustafa Hadoush?
Yeah. Well, we were next door to
Is it like
Mustafa.
They want you upstairs?
kind of cool place?
Oh, for some reason, I remember going up some stairs.
Same floor,
I mean, you can. It's just
but now we're next door
usually you have to let it.
Okay.
in the building, one step north from there.
What's this little guy?
That's miso. That's a wase miso.
So in your bag, so Pam, I brought you and Thierry and Tom a little gift bag, and in there from Greg is a very special miso that is seasonal that I can't get.
Oh,
Don't talk about it on.
So white miso is seasonal, and it comes from the same brewer. This is one of the misos they make. Of the 4 misos they make in the soy sauce. So it usually in the olden days was made in like November to March because it wasn't too hot when for fermenting, and so it takes its time and develops over like 3 months. It's beautiful, nice, sweet flavor. Where if it's really hot, it's going to develop really quick, ferment really fast, and just kind of become salty. So yeah, they only make it traditionally from November to March, and we ship it over by air, so we don't get a lot of margin for anyone else.
Is it
So he
also
doesn't
to-
let me sell it.
Is it also to have the wheat fresher?
Or
Is that anything to do
it
with that?
does have barley in it, but it's the soybeans. It's just the gentler fermentation is in the winter time.
And does
That makes
and a
total sense.
controlled
I mean,
so the controlled oxidation too at the same time, so it doesn't get as dark.
Exactly. That's why they do
Oh,
it
yeah,
over
yeah,
the
yeah.
winter time. So
So you guys have some special gifts over there. So Thierry, maybe you don't need to come down to the shop.
I'm
You
blessed.
Just take it
Thank
on
you.
home.
You know what? I'll take anything from this gentleman. Looks like he's got good taste.
Restaurant in San Francisco is featuring your
a lot are. I mean, I would feel bad to say one because we have so many that feature our products. And
Let's
it's
just talk
interesting,
about
too.
the one that don't.
Let's do that. Okay. Well, let me get my list.
Yeah, you don't want to go there.
Those bastards. I'm just kidding.
Just in the Bay Area, we are. We
Yep.
self-distribute. Yeah.
I'm the distributor here in Seattle.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of restaurant accounts that I serve selling his products. In different, not generally these sizes, bigger.
So why do Japanese restaurants insist on putting kikoman on the table?
It's
This is a big
great
debate.
question because most of the restaurants that we sell to that are Japanese owned are my friends, people that I know or have been introduced to. But it's really hard to get into the Japanese owned ones if I don't know them. And oftentimes they have a connection with someone back in Japan that's sending them stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, your everyday sushi restaurant that you find in every corner in every city, like they're always going to be using cheaper products. Like I just think that's the
Yeah,
nature of the
it's a
business.
cost.
I know
it's a
to me,
cost
it's
issue.
so interesting that such a strong culture in umami and flavor and everything, and yet when you go to most Japanese restaurants,
It's
they have kikoman, and you're like, it's kind of strange.
Yeah,
It's really strange.
I think it's a cost issue largely.
No, I understand that part, but to me, it's kind of like well, you're focusing on, on flavor and
So-
on taste and on.
So my clients are generally going to be more like the Canlises and the Tomos
Oh, yeah.
and the 8 Rows and those.
So they
those
won't
guys.
have kikoman,
Well, they might, but I can convince them to switch
right? No, of course.
or with the others. So
It's just
yeah.
interesting to me. I just always find that interesting. Same with those little chili or whatever that's in that little can. I'm like, really?
The Ryu.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
the
yeah,
table
then
and-
there's the sashimi togarashis that you find that are just been
Yeah.
sitting around for too many years.
I know. You're like, this looks like it's been here forever.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I
Anyway,
think
thanks
for
so much
ki-
for coming.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Truly
I
appreciate
think
it.
you should all 3 of you compete in tasty trivia instead of having them on the same team.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm
what a
gonna-
great idea.
Okay.
You guys ready for this?
No.
Okay, good. That's perfect then. Let's do it.
Okay.
So we have a tested trivia, 5 question each.
Terry's there with a pen. Do we need a pen and a paper?
Just take notes
Keep
I
track
keep
of who the
score.
winner is.
Oh, I see.
because we have a winner and we do have a loser.
And what do I win? What do I win when I win?
I didn't sign up for
She
this,
will
but-
explain. Pam will explain the rules.
Real hard. Are we ready? Are you going to welcome them back
Oh yeah.
and start the segment? Excellent.
Writing everybody's name. Ready for the scoreboard. All right, we are back in the kitchen of the Hot Stove Society on the Hot Stove Society radio show. My name is Thierry Rotero, the chef in the hat, and Tom took a little hiatus for a few minutes, so we're gonna keep playing without him. This is the time of the show where we do our favorite part of the show, I guess, the most fun.
Really?
The most fun, I think.
It's the most terrifying to me.
Well, it is terrifying. You should be sitting in my seat to call it terrifying. Pam, tell us how it works, the trivia.
Well, Rub would love Food for Thought Tasty Trivia is a series where each of the 3 components gets 5 questions, and then someone gets the most right, and they're the winner, and then we have a loser. So we're glad Eliza and Greg are sticking around to play with us today. And we have to do our little commercial for Rub with
That's
Love, which is our own small batch collection of versatile rubs, sauces, and mustards that bring extra layers of flavor to any meal. You can find Rub with Love all around Seattle in grocery stores like the Thriftway in West Seattle, Vashon, Ballinger, or Bayview. In Island County, visit our friends at Payless in Freelard or the Camino IGA. And for all the deliciousness, you can also stop at Serious Pie Ballard or right here at the Hot Stove Society.
And don't forget, online at tomdouglas.com,
Yeah.
anywhere around the planet.
All right. Terry Rotro likes to kick us off.
Yes,
He's
I'll
the
show them how
bravest.
it's done.
He'll show them how
Maybe
it's
not
done.
the right way, but I'll show you.
Question number 1 is multiple choice. What is the family of health benefiting plant compounds that give dark vegetables their distinct colored call? Is it the phytochemicals, the proto-nutrients, or the free radicals?
I'm going to go with the proto.
It would be the phytochemicals. They
Oh, well, I
not
was
only
close. It's the other one.
It's one of the P ones.
It's one of the P1. Yeah, I knew it wasn't the last one. I knew it was
They not-
either proto for photo and phyto for my dog.
It's definitely not the free radicals.
No.
They not only give the deeply colored fruits and vegetables their hue, they also fight the free radicals in your body and help protect against cell, tissue, and DNA damage caused by oxidation. Number 2,
Amen to you.
also multiple choice. Which one of these drinks has the most calories? 12 ounces of beer, 12 ounces of cola, or 5 ounces of red wine?
Definitely 12 ounces of cola.
It's the beer. Beer comes in first at 153
I tried to be
calories.
convincing, but it didn't work.
12 ounces of cola comes in second at 136, and 5 ounces of wine typically has 123.
Go for the
Wow.
wine. Go for the wine.
Drink
Wow, I
more
know. I mean, that's
wine.
what I do.
Drink more wine.
That's
I
the
knew it wasn't the
lesson
wine,
here.
but I would never guess the beer was more.
Plus,
than,
you get all those phytochemicals in your
Yeah, no
in your wine.
put some spinach in there or something. I don't know.
Number 3, what region in France is Neuchâtel cheese from?
Neuchâtel.
Thank you.
I'm like, Neuchâtel. I'm like, oh. Yes, Neuchâtel.
What region is it from?
I don't know. The center of France, I would say La Beauce. As in,
Normandy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Beauce. That's not Normandy. No,
Oh.
Beauce is south of France. Normandy? Beautiful.
Okay.
I go with that.
Number 4,
But-
true or false?
So far, in case you haven't noticed,
You
it's
have-
really easy to score nothing.
True or false? Quinoa contains all 8 essential amino acids.
Yes, it does.
It
Absolutely.
Sure is true.
That I know. Yes, quinoa is good for you.
What country in South America grows more oranges than any other country? It's big.
Brazil.
Right?
2 out of 5.
Yeah.
Eliza,
Uh-oh.
this is super goofy.
Name and
Which-
phone number of all the people who have bought from Chef Shop in the past 10
Yeah.
years.
This is multiple
I could
choice.
probably answer
Which
that.
of these groups believe humans can live solely on a life force called prana? Is it the Freegans, the Breatharians, or the Rastafarians?
I'm going to go with the Rastafarians.
It is the Breatharians. They believe that the nutrients required to sustain human life can be found through breathing alone.
Hmm.
Which, also multiple choice, which of these foods offers more protein per 100 grams? Ground chuck, chicken breast, or caterpillars?
Caterpillars.
Exactly.
I would have guessed that. Good
Ha-
idea.
No, thank you.
Caterpillars have about 28 grams of protein per 100. Ground chuck, about 24, and chicken breast, about 23. Number 3, what is the name of the hearty soup made of tripe, caspi, and hominy popular in Mexico that is touted as a hangover cure?
I have no idea.
Mano a mano.
Anybody want a lifeline?
Yep. No, it's menudo.
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 You were surprised I know that.
Surprise.
Look at you.
I
She's
think
surprised I
Terry
know
gets
that.
another. I think Terry gets another point.
He gets another. Yeah.
Oh, I get another.
Are you
Yes,
going to get
of
another
course.
Eliza, you're giving him a point.
I'm
No.
gonna give him a point. You
She
got it right.
She got a
Gracious.
half a point, and I get the other half.
She's gracious. True or false? The herb caraway is part of the parsley family.
True.
It is true. You're rocking this. And then, true or false? Oranges are technically a berry.
I don't think so. Terry says no.
I say no. I say
It's-
it's actually a flower of some
It's
kind.
true. They're special berries known as hesperidiums, and they develop from one flower with one ovary, which is
Which is true. Isn't that true for most fruit? Then?
Yeah. How do the other fruit work?
Yeah, what about peaches and cherries? Are
We-
they
we
all
need to have
berries?
more sexual education on fruit here.
We'll do a segment on fruit sexual education in the
Okay.
upcoming show.
All right, she got 2.5, just like me.
I
You're
think
tight.
she's going to give easy ones to Greg. I
Right.
have this feeling.
We'll start with multiple choice. Which of these is likelier to kill you? French fries, a car accident, or cancer?
What
Wow.
a morbid question.
Well, it's like all of the above. I mean, or none of the above. I mean,
I'm gonna go with French fries. Just because.
Absolutely true. Thanks to the average 8 grams of trans fat per serving found in most French fries. The risk of death from heart disease from consuming French fries is higher than the death rate from cancer and car accidents. Good start.
It's gonna make my side of fries look a lot different.
I was
now.
going to say,
So,
maybe we'll
the
forego the
advice
fries.
is you can drive through the window, but don't buy the fries.
I know, right?
This one is also multiple choice. Energy is transferred from the food we eat to our bodies through what? Calories, amino acids, or lipids?
Calories.
Absolutely correct. How many gallons of water do you think it takes to grow one orange?
Is there choices, or I guess?
Just take it.
I'll give you choices. For one orange, would it be 5 gallons, 13 gallons, or 45 gallons?
13.
Correct.
Wow.
Number 4.
He's
what?
killing us. He's already beat us.
I haven't even had fries yet either.
Well, she tipped her hand with those.
What is the
choices.
name of the process when an emulsion is created by reducing all the particles to the same size? A hint would be as in milk.
Oh,
Pasteurization?
No.
No.
homogenization.
Yes.
Homogenation.
Are you going to share your point with?
Yes,
I am,
absolutely.
Yep.
Half
Terry
a point.
gets a point. I
I'm
think,
not
Homogenation.
3. Ooh.
yeah, I think Terry wins.
No,
And
so far it's good.
finally, what is the name of the very pretty Scandinavian cookies formed into fanciful shapes by being pushed through a cookie press?
I don't know that.
Spritz.
Spritz.
Yeah, you don't have.
Where
a
I come from, it's a
Norwegian
drink.
No, I don't.
Spritz
that
were-
made you spritz at the holidays.
Pam, spritz is a drink where I come from.
Yeah.
Could also be a verb and a drink.
Okay. Cookie
Uh,
and a drink. That's
How
simple.
did we do? Who's the winner
I think
today,
Greg
Terry?
still win at 3.5 points. I'm behind at 3, and Alyssa is telling with 2.5.
Thank
So,
you for playing today.
Greg, your reward is we have a shop here. So your reward is to walk through that shop and pick 3 cans of Rub with Love of your
To take
choice.
back.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you can try
Thank you
that.
very much. All right, Terry, you going to wrap us up?
I'm going to wrap us up, I guess. If you want to be part of the show, but you can't come to the studio, you can join the community on YouTube live, as our friend did this morning, during the taping on the Tom Douglas and Company channel. Also, remember, if you miss any episode of a Hot Stove Society show on Caro 97.3, you can listen via your podcast. Just subscribe with your favorite app. Thanks for listening and have a fabulous weekend.
Yay, thank you.
All right, I'm going to do a little bit of a announcement. This is for the things you hear on the radio pre-show. They announce the show. So I need full silence in the house, please. Hi, I'm Tom Douglas. And I'm Thierry Roturo. No, just kidding.
I think you should go with that.
Hi, I'm Tom Douglas. No, I'm just kidding. Hello, I'm Terry Rotero, chef in a hat. This afternoon on the Hot Stove Society radio show, we talk about our tasting panel gets a boost from peak season citrus. Spinach is a vibrant green boost in winter dishes. Ideas for feeding your brunch guest. And Greg Dunmore from the Japanese Pantry join us with Alyssa Ward from Chef Chop. It's a wrap. It's a tongue twister, Pam, because you wrote bunch instead of brunch. I'm like, bunch?
That's what I get for late night editing.
Thank you so much, you guys, for coming. Thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoy yourself. Hope you had fun.